What's up guys, welcome to a brand new video. I'm sorry this was a little bit delayed. I've been having some struggles myself here in the holiday times. My computer crashed. After recently coming back and building everything up, let's get this video on a roll. Let's just do one take here. Let's go over everything you guys need to know and then move on from there. So let's get right into it. Balanced Druid macros. Let's take a look at what I am using. First off, standard macros that I use is cast target arena 1, 2, and 3 with solar beam. I always have these keybinded to control A, control S, and control D on your keyboard. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and you beam arena 1, 2, 3. To help with my muscle memory, I have this for all the other classes I play as well. For example, since I'm a mage main, I have the exact same keybinds, arena 1, 2, 3. For counter spell, arena 1, 2, 3. So to kind of try to get into the mindset and getting the muscle memory to use arena 1, 2, 3 for fast lockouts and stuff, it's quite nice. And I would definitely recommend it. But I know some amazing players prefers to instead just swap their focuses and use their focus kick basically, and that's totally up to you. It's always gonna come down to personal preference, but it's a really nice macro tab overall. By the way, I'm gonna put all links to like all macros with big paste bin in the description, so if you want them there, you know, just check it out. Next up, we have another very nice macro that I don't see too many people actually use. It looks kind of like this. I have it for feral charge as well. Basically what this is, it helps you with your UI. So for example, rejuvenation. You can see that if I have talent row 3 and 1, aka feral affinity, this icon will instead be main. If I am Guardian Infinity, it will instead press Incapacitating Roar, and if I'm Rest Affinity, will press Swiftman. So if I swap to Guardian Infinity here, you see the keybind down here also swaps. So it makes it easier for like all your forms while you're keybinding everything, and you can switch this up. Like you can see here I have the same thing for Renewal, Wild Charge, and Tiger Dash. This is what it looks like. You can just copy it, fill it in. Like if I wanted to do the first row, I do /cast talent 1/1 Nature's Balance, talent 2/2 Warrior Balloon, etc, etc. So it's a really smooth, nice macro tab. Let's see, what else do we have? Now let's get into the big ones. Let's get into the target specific. Of course I have like just /focus, you know, so I can quickly focus stuff, and then I use focus arena 1, 2, 3, which is my control 1, 2, 3 keybinds to just clear it, clear the focus. Other macros, this is my big CD, my big ramp up time macro. In situations where you might already be astral capped, and before you incarn convoke, you maybe want to dump 3 star surges out to get max damage. This is the go-to ramp up all CDs, but not convoke. A thing I want to touch on in this macro as well is /use 14 is this trinket slot. I make sure I always have my unused trinkets for damage burst in this slot. If you don't, just change the /use 14 to the trinket's name to make sure you don't miss using it. So yeah, just like that. So that's another option as well. Quick, another disclaimer on that one is that if you're playing this legendary that I am, Balance of All Things. Basically what Balance of All Things does is when you pop your CDs, aka Incarn, where you get both eclipses, you get double buffs that increases your crit from Nature School and Arcane School with 40% each. That lined up with Incarn and Weakauras basically almost gives you 100% crit on the first spells in your Convoke. If we take a look at this training dummy here, let's hit it a little bit, and let's press the button. You see I have double balance of all things, and this is how I do so much damage. 95,000 damage on one Convoke. I don't think you guys quite caught it. We'll get into add-ons later, but 95,000 damage on that Convoke and 100% crit. So that is how you achieve that. So if you're playing Balance of All Things, you're not going to be using this macro that much, because you don't really want to ramp up. You want to go with all your burst when you have it and give yourself the best possible chance of doing maximum damage. So it's a thing to keep in mind, but overall I think it's really good to have a macro for all your cooldowns without popping Convoke for whenever you need it. With that said, we also have the Swifty macro. Tons of people were asking for this one. It was in the description of last video. It's just basically all your cooldowns and then Convoke. Since most of your own uses and your big cooldowns are not on your GCD global cooldown anymore, you can pop it all at the same time. So that's why it's really nice to have macroed. I also have Cast Target, Arena 1, 2, 3 Cyclone. I also have Focus Cyclone. I don't think there's anything to talk about that. You keybind, you use them if you want to. If you don't want to, you know, don't care, don't use them. This is what I use. This is my decurse macro. Basically what this does is if I have someone else targeted, let's say I need to decurse this guy, and I press decurse, I will decurse him. I have no one targeted, or I have an enemy targeted and I want to decurse myself, I just press decurse and it decurses me. And if, let's say I have a healer I need to decurse, then I just mouse over that healer, either on my raid frames or like this guy right here. You see I'm just holding my mouse on him, and that's the guy I'm dispelling. It's like, it's easy to just hover over your healer without having to target them or anything, press dispel and dispel that hex instantly. Maybe I'll do a guide for kind of how to keep track on when to use your stuff in the future. There's quite some fun things you can do with this one. Innervate, very easy innervate, mouse over macro. I hover over the healer I want to innervate, whether it's in a raid or if it's in arena. If it's in arena, I would actually recommend you just do it like this, and instead of mouse over, you just swap this line to the name of your healer. Best healer, you swap it to that, to your healer's name, you save it, and then you don't need to worry about it at all, because you can't even use innervate on non-healer classes. That's what I would do. Other than that, I also have these macros for Sunfire and Moonfire. It's basically, if I have a dummy targeted, I press Moonfire, it will Moonfire and Sunfire him. If I want to dot this guy as well, I actually don't need to target him. I just hold my mouse over him. I just mouse over him. See, I still have the first one targeted and I start dotting it up. I want this one, I just mouse over this one and I press my dots. It makes it really easy to multi-dot and have a high uptime on your dots, especially in arena, where you can get a little bit panicky every now and then. Without having to, you know, spam swap targets all the time. Super comfortable to use in PvE and in dungeons and stuff in general as well. It's the same macro for both of them. I'll put them in the box with everything else. I have the exact same thing for regrowth and rejuvenation. If I don't have anything targeted, it heals me. If I mouse over a friendly target, like a teammate or something, it will heal them. And what all these add-ons in the end does is just, it saves you time and a lot of keybinds from having your party 1, 2, 3 also keybinded. So very nice. I have the same thing for Starfire and Moonfire or Wrath as well. The mouse over and, you know, target existing. But I'm not using them. I used them in the beginning, but it felt really shit. Because if you like hover over something that you don't want to target, you accidentally cast when your mouse is over there, you will hit them. So something to keep in mind. Thorns macro, super important. Either you can do keybind thorns for your party 1, 2, 3, so you can thorns, you know, whoever you want in your party without targeting them, or you use this type of macro that I do, which is the same type of mouse over macro. I use a lot of mouse over macros on my balanced druid that we talked about earlier. You hover whoever you want to use it on. If you don't have anyone mouse over the targeted, it just uses it on yourself. Very easy. I think that is pretty much all the macros I use. Then I of course have like focus macros as well. I think I can touch up on this. If you go to key bindings, then you go to targeting. Here you can keybind all the other stuff. Like you can see our focus arena 1, 2, 3. So instead of having a macro that focuses your arena 1 or your arena 2 or your arena 3, you can keybind all of that here. You can do the same thing for targeting arena enemy number 1, 2, 3. I think this is super important to have as well. Take some of your muscle memory to learn all of these things and really get used to playing with them and playing with them efficiently. But if you haven't, I would highly recommend keybinding that. And I think that is everything macro-wise. Let's do another one of these for user interface, so I can help you guys set up your arena interface. There are a lot of people asking about my arena frames. Main combat, it's not good. I have a lot of people that's been asking me about my arena frames and all of this stuff. So if you guys want, I'll do UI tour as well. You know, kind of see how I scale up everything and really try to keep everything as big and clean as possible in here. Why am I not dropping combat? Let's talk about Weakauras as well. Let's briefly touch upon Weakauras. Weakauras is an amazing tool that I think everybody should be using. If you don't, you put yourself at a disadvantage. So the Weakauras I use in my Moonkin is I use Moonkin form missing to make sure, you know, if I'm not in Moonkin form, it shows me. Because sometimes when you play with Astral form and you're like off healing, I throw a rejuve, I drop form, and then I go for a big damage window. So it's kind of nice to just keep track of if you're in Moonkin form or not. Other than that, I use Convoke the high scores. It's up here. I don't think you guys quite saw it. Basically, this is a really fun Weakaura, and if you play Nightfade Druid, I think you're gonna love it. What it does is it tracks how much damage your Convoke is doing, and it gives you a high score. So let's see. Let's pull this guy right here. Let's see how much damage my Convoke does. You see here, it tracks your Convoke damage. So this Convoke, I did 75,602 damage. It gave me 776 was my high score, and this was like a 650 score. So it's a really fun niche little Weakauras that not a lot of people know about or use, but it's fun to track how big your Convoke hits for, etc, etc. So really fun. Other than that, I have my full PvE hero, you know, set up here. If you want to, you can move your target frames next to this, and you will instantly get invited to either Echo or Limit for the world first race, because then you're a true PvE hero. Make sure your bars are clean, make sure you can see everything. But it's in the end, it comes down to what works for you, not what everybody else is doing. But this is what works for me. I hope you guys have any use of this video. It was just one take, no editing. I wanted to get it out as fast as possible for you guys. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe. I'll post links to my stream and my Discord down in the description. I will link every single macro, paste spins and everything in my Discord. So you guys can just easy jump in there and find everything you need. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, stay safe. I just tested myself for COVID. You gotta stay safe, boys. And enjoy your Christmas and enjoy the holiday times. With that,